Husky fans, welcome into a special NIU Weekly. We're calling it a video Frazier's Corner. Andy Garcia alongside the Vice President, Director of Athletics and Recreation here at NIU. Sean T. Frazier is joining us. And Sean, there is so much. I've got questions that you have that we've gotten from different fans and boosters and even that you want to bring up, Sean. So let's get right into it. And the first one really, there's a lot of changes. We've talked about that, Sean, and with the NCAA, and you've got the pulse on it, with what's going on with the issues. And one of it's the NCAA Transformation Committee. They came out with their recommendations. What are the implications of these changes for NIU, Sean? And what does it mean in terms of finances, staffing, support?
Yes, great question. Thanks a lot, Andy. It's always good to have you. I tell you what, I miss you as we're in football season. Yes. Now we're in season, so it's good to see you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, the Transformational Committee, put out their final report anyway, back in January. Had a chance to go to the NCAA convention, talk to a number of people. President Freeman also attended, along with our senior associate, Courtney Vincent, as well. So we went there and had a number of meetings, and we're really able to dissect what the impact is going to be. We actually did some data analysis as well as some financial projections. And, from a financial standpoint, from an operational standpoint, to implement said transformational recommendations, it's going to be sizable. It's going to be a heavy lift, but it's like we knew it would be. But we're estimating somewhere in the neighborhood of about 600,000 on the low end to over $1 million on the high end, implementing some of their recommendations. And some of them, I won't bore you with all of the details, but from a mental health standpoint, have a clinician, which we do, a DEI expert, a number of scholarship mandates or requirements post academic career. So there's a number of different requirements that will be put into place that were recommendations from the Transformational Committee, and we have to understand and operationalize that. We really haven't talked about that from a committee standpoint or an NCAA standpoint. It's really been about the recommendations, not the financial impact or the operationalizing said recommendations. It's always like that when we have a large body, a bureaucratic body like the NCAA. The committee did a fantastic job. Julie Cromer, who is in our league, who's the director of athletics at Ohio, did a fantastic job. But from an operational standpoint, many of us have chopped it up a bit, and we see to be an FBS playing institution, a Division I institution, we're going to have to operationalize these, but also too, what is the impact to our budget? So we're there. We've been talking to a number of different people. We do understand the requirements, and we're going to do our best to make sure we fulfill them. But again, increase dollars. That's kind of the theme of that, on top of making sure that we have a student athlete well-being component that's in place.
Another big thing we've already seen happen is conference realignment, right, Sean? And we saw the first dominoes fall with the SEC adding Texas and Oklahoma, Big 12 grabbing some American schools, and the American filling in some spots as well, Sean. The Big 10 bringing in USC, UCLA, going from the West Coast, bringing into the Big 10. We know the Pac-12 is now expected to make some changes as well. Do you expect any of the trickle-down effects to affect the MAC and the rest of the FBS?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been fortunate and humbled to have a front seat on some of the past expansion pieces. I was in the Big Ten at University of Wisconsin when the Big Ten added Nebraska. The same thing when the Big Ten added Maryland and Rutgers, and had a really good chance, really a learning opportunity, also to experience the different trials and tribulations of transitioning into a conference. So it was great theater on some levels from an external standpoint, but more importantly, operationally. There's no such thing as standing still. I say that a lot. Some people roll their eyes, but at the end of the day, there's no such thing as standing still. You're either moving forward or you're moving back. And I see this whole landscape as it shifts through, from the, Pac-12, Big 12, Mountain West, American, all of the conferences, all the FBS conferences, actually, there's going to be a ripple effect. Something happens, and then there's going to be a reaction to that as we take a look at the big dollar-driven media right deals, the expansion of the college football playoff. There's all that. For me to tell you that it's not going to affect us would be naive. And then the other side of that is, how do we adapt? One of the things we do have in the MAC, the most stable conference in the country. Okay, we understand we've got great leadership, great presidents, but at the end of the day, based on the different changes we just talked about with the Transformation Committee, based on the need to make sure that we have sustainable financial practices and making sure that we are supporting our student athletes. Change is here. And we have to make sure that all of our institutions are prepping for that. So I would tell you, absolutely, there will be changes. How it affect us, that's going to be in the future coming. I don't have a crystal ball, but I definitely do see change for sustainability practices, but more importantly, to making sure that we are viable. Big Ten saw that. That's why they expanded. We are also in the footprint of the Big Ten. And one of the things we want to do is be vibrant and make sure we serve our membership and our population.
If we've seen anything in conference realignment, Sean, anything is possible, right? We just don't know where people are going to end up and what conferences. So it'll be interesting to see. We got to talk some basketball as well. Let's start with men's basketball, Sean. And for Sean Berno, I know you're proud of what this team has done so far. Remember, this is a team that was picked dead last in the MAC, and they're at a really good spot right now in the season. I know you're excited and proud of what NIU men's basketball has done so far this season.
There's no question. Coach Berno and his staff, our student athletes, our supports in place. It's great. It's great to be picked last, because every time we pick last, we either win the conference or do things that no one expects us to do. And that's both in football and basketball thus far. So that's a motivation. That's a battle cry for our Huskies. So again, people who do that, please continue to do that. That really helps us as we go into the season. A little plug there. But I would tell you how the young men have dealt with the adversity. Real tough non-conference schedule. I think that really prepared our young men in our program, our coaches. It really started off when they took the foreign tour to Canada, and you saw some of the athleticism, you saw the passion, you saw the coaching. So that was a great kind of a step forward in the program's history. And now it's all about getting the fish in the boat, so to speak. We've got an opportunity to make the tournament. No one saw that we were going to do that. We've got great play out of players that have not done it before, but now they're grinding it out. They're bought into the system with Coach Berno and his staff. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they can do second year, and then more importantly, how they mature. Because we're a lot of young guys, guys that have been here a little bit, and they can put it all together and get to Cleveland. I like their chances. I know I wouldn't want to coach against this momentum, confidence that I'm seeing right now, but I'm excited. It's a testament to the players and the coaches.
It's a testament to what this team has done through injuries, Sean, and what they've been able to do. One player going out, or maybe two going out, and still having the chemistry to get wins, and again, put themselves in a good spot moving forward here as we get closer to March. Women's basketball this past week, beating Bowling Green, snapping their 11-game winning streak. Then Ball State at the Combo this past weekend here at the Combo. NIU women's knocking off Ball State. They had a 10-game winning streak. So you knock off the top two teams. NIU women's already knocked off Toledo. They'd be the 3 seed. So they're playing their best basketball at the right time. You're the sport AD for women's basketball, so you're seeing it up close. But they put themselves in a nice spot right now.
Yeah, these were the expectations coming into the season. We had a really tough non-con, and the women responded. So some of this was not a shock. Looking at the people that we have, veteran group, great coaches, passion for the game, and we've kind of stumbled a little bit, got into a bit of a rut. But now you're seeing that we're working out. For me, it's not something that is surprising. I really do believe we have the talent and the know-how, the coaching, and all the like to be able to be competitive and be the best. Because quite frankly, that was the expectation kind of coming in. But at the end of the day, you have to execute. And Coach Carlson understands that. Our seniors on the team understand that. They have a passion because, again, they want to do it for the program. They want to do it for themselves. They want to do it for all the things that is Huskies and the passion there is. But I would say that we're right where we need to be. We just have to finish. We have to finish, get to the tournament, and then something good will happen. So I'm excited about this group.
Yeah, it's great to see Coach Carlson win her 300th career win at Bowling Green this past week. So that was great. The number 300 for Coach Carlson as well. Obviously, we also got wrestling, leading the MAC, Western Wrestling, heading to the Washington, D.C. area for the MAC championships here the first weekend in March. Wrestling's been great. Gymnastics putting up some big numbers this season as well. Indoor track and field heads to the MAC championships this weekend. I ran into Coach T. Berry. She's excited. She's like, come see me after this weekend. Tell me how we're doing, how it's going. But great to see them. Hopefully they have some success there. Then we've got the spring sports underway, Sean. Men's and women's tennis in the Nelson Tennis Center at Chick Evans Fieldhouse is underway. That facility is a game changer for those programs, Sean. And if you haven't been in there, it's worth checking out to see that at the Chick Evans Fieldhouse, the Nelson Tennis Center. Women's golf opened the spring with a win in their first tournament. Baseball, softball on their usual beginnings in the season, road swings in the better weather, White Sean, getting down there a little southern and getting some good weather and getting some baseball and softball. And so it's great to just see all these kind of programs come together. You got the end of the winter sports here coming up in March and April, and you got spring kind of jumping into that.
Yeah, no, all of that, that's a mouthful right there. I don't know how you're able to get all that stuff out there. I would say you're right. This is where we see the convergence of winter, spring, and you see all the different things popping off at one time. So it's definitely, there's no stoppage of activity that's going on. And you're right, as we finish up strong in the winter, you start to see all these flashes of the spring sports. But what you also see, you see all the talent, you see all the hard work, the preparation, all the pieces that make it special. You talked about Chick Evans, you talk about, Nelson Tennis Center, you talk about some of the new things that are going on with our facilities. All of that pays tribute to the hard work and the support that our donors, our supporters, our students, our administration have put into it. So you start to see the byproduct. You start to see those seeds sprouting now, and we're having lots of success right now. So I'm really excited, very thankful for everybody that has contributed.
I'm going to talk about more about the facilities in the sports in the spring. A couple of spring sports facilities notes as well. I know, Sean, you have thank yous for those as well. The new putting facility at Rich Harvin's Farms, the home of the Huskies, a great new putting facility, Rich Harvin's Farms for the golf, with an amazing addition, and Mr. Jerry Rich, once again, with tremendous support for NIU golf. And then right here on campus, Ralph McKenzie Field at Walton Janice Owens Park. The turf infield was installed this fall, looks great. It will be dedicated on April 16th. More to come about that, Sean. But again, huge thanks to not just the Owens family, but everyone who has contributed to that project so far. Rich Harvest Farms, Ralph McKenzie Field, just two nice, I would say, facility additions to what NIU Athletics have.
Yeah, there's no such thing. We talk about it standing still, and the Nelson Tennis Facility, what Jerry Rich has done in our indoor simulation, and all the things that went into that process. He's just fantastic. On his level of support, what he's done over the years to just really change, the direction of our program. We would not be where we are as far as being a high-level program within the MAC without that, and without Jerry making sure that, quite frankly, he's leading the way in men's, women's golf. And you're right, Janice and Walt Owens, a baseball facility, having that turf. We're in the Midwest. We understand cold. We understand rain. We understand that, we can't get outdoors. So having this turf, infield turf facility that we're going to get ready to dedicate, and all the people that have contributed to that, is a game changer. So these things just don't happen because we would clap our hands and there it is. They're from generous supporters, alums, backers of the program that have changed the difference and impacted our student athletes and, quite frankly, their overall student athlete experience. So these are just a handful of those that we're getting ready to dedicate. There's many more to mention, but I want to say personally thank you for all of that level of support. It has changed the overall direction of those particular programs.
So again, that dedication for baseball is April 16th in honor of Coach O and Janice. Another great event coming up, Sean, is another spring thing coming for the spring football. Spring football is just around the corner. It will wrap up on April 22nd. It begins 1 month earlier on March 22nd. Sean, I know you can't wait to get to see the team back out there for football. And I know it was a great event back on February 10th at Fatty's, a huge turnout at Fatty's. That's for spring football and just the football overall, the program, get everybody ready for what's moving forward in 2023.
Yeah, the guys they're working hard. The young men, we've got some new players, new student athletes to the program. We're able to really talk about that in our events at Fatty's. We also have a chance to talk about some new coaches that we have on board as well. Kind of a reset, reboot. We stubbed our toe last year. It's not where we wanted to end. It definitely wasn't the expectation, meeting the expectation side of it. So we get that. We own it. We have a number of championships, especially during my tenure here, and quite frankly, and before. And we want to make sure that we meet expectation. We know who we are. We understand what we need to do. And we've got some young men that have joined us that are pretty phenomenal. We're going to be able to see them during spring practice. And Coach Hammock understands that, and the staff does too. So we've been able to do that. But also, more importantly, really kind of reset some of the things that were shortcomings a year ago. We understand that as we add new players and new personnel, that we have to get better in several different areas in offense, defense, special teams. So I'm excited about what to see, because spring is a good time. They'll say that, spring is really for the coaches, the fall is for the players. And I would agree. And now that you actually have a certain amount of days, used to be a time when we have endless days when I played. Now you have an opportunity to kind of go through the evaluation process, take a look at what's working, and then really dice it up and chop it up to make sure you're ready to go for the fall. The great news is that we have a lot of players coming back that were injured. We have a lot of familiar faces. We got some new people that are underneath the radar that there'll be household names for the Huskies. And I'm excited about the direction of where we're going for the future.
Me and you've been working together now for 10 years. And one of the questions I know you always get asked about is football scheduling. And again, we're getting close to the full 2023 football schedule coming out. We got the non-conference games at Boston College in Nebraska, home games versus Southern Illinois and Tulsa. Talk a little bit about those, Sean, about the scheduling philosophy these days, and maybe how it's changed the last 10 years for you, Sean, and what has influenced that change.
Yeah, it's a great question. I get it a lot. When I'm in the grocery store, as I'm getting my apples, whatever the deal is, I get, hey, Sean, what's going on? When are you going to have this one into here? When are you going to go there? It's interesting. When I first got here, I heard the battle cry, which was about bringing in quality opponents that, quite frankly, included Power 5 or Autonomous 5 institutions. And we did that. We had a schedule palooza. I'm quite sure you were all involved with that, Andy. It was a great concept developed by Donna Turner, and she did a fantastic rolling that out. And then with our team here, we put together with the work and we're able to bring in some first into Husky Stadium. Unfortunately, with that, some were good, some were not so good as it relates to attendance. And I think that is a major component if you are an opponent coming in and if it's going to be on national television. The good news is that we've been able to continue the scheduling philosophy, but as far as getting folks into the Chicagoland area, they have to be with larger venues in areas that, quite frankly, that we can pack, that there is going to be a fan base, because people look at Chicago as being a major hub. So we're the third largest media market in the country. We know who we are. It's a pro town. We know who we are. And then the other part about it, to be able to get folks to come in, we've got to be able to do the right thing as far as support with attendance, as well as the ability to get in and out and other types of things. So we will continue to strive to do that, but we're going to have to really be much more strategic on the type of opponent that we bring in. I know everybody wants to name brand Big Ten schools, but they're in the Big Ten footprint, and they have no desire to come into our particular venue and compete against us. There's no win-win in that when their stadium is twice as large and there's a financial component to that. What we can do is bring in folks that want to take part in a large media market, but also to a fertile recruiting land. So we have to be mindful of that. And we've done that over the years. But the days of just bringing someone in and not be able to fill up the stadium at the same time, that's going to be more competitive. And that's not something that we've totally say no to. It's just going to be a little bit more challenging, especially with the larger conferences that are starting to develop in the SEC and in the Big Ten. So as they get larger, they have less non-conference opportunities. So there's a lot of moving back and forth in that process, and we have to be very strategic in that. So we will continue to put together a balanced schedule, just like you see this particular year. And we'll have some opportunities to go out west, out east, south, and we'll just have to mix it up a little bit. And then obviously, take advantage of our third largest media market in the country and actually have, games in Chicagoland. Maybe there's one a year. Maybe there's, there's a give and take as it relates to that. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on that. The good news is that it doesn't stop. This is something that's fluent. It happens daily. We have a great brand. We play a great brand of football. So we will definitely be in the conversation for those big time marquee matchups, because if you beat NIU or if we beat you, that's a quality win or quality loss. depending on the situation, especially as we take a look at the college football playoff and the expansion and having a non-conference schedule and conference schedule that means something to the committee. So that's a lot of football right there that's threw at you. It's very important to make sure we get the scheduling right to be a part of the national conversation.
Well, you're doing your job trying to get the schedule together. We need fans in the stands. So it's my time to remind everyone, 2023 football season tickets are on sale. Renewals are available. The new Build Your Membership plan allows each fan to customize their benefits. This is great. It can fit to what you can do. Maybe you want extra HAF tent passes or parking in a certain lot. Also want to note that the purpose is not to increase your donation, and we encourage you to contact Nate and TJ with the Husky Athletic Fund with any questions at all. Sean, this new plan is really designed to kind of give the season ticket or HAF member an opportunity to personalize it the way they want it to be, and they can fulfill their needs and get out there. We need players. We got the players, right? We need the fans in the stands. We need that support, and it's time to renew 2023 football season tickets and do it the way you want to.
Yeah, no, it's an a la carte type market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, forcing people to go one direction, what would you like? Let's give you an opportunity to pick your menu. What's appealing to you from a premium standpoint, from a parking standpoint, from an amenity standpoint. The days of just saying this is what you get, good luck, that's not the way it's done. That's not customer service. What we want to do is make this a la carte so you feel comfortable in checking off what you want. And you can do it on an annual basis in a rolling scenario so you can ensure that you've got the seats that you want and the experience that you want to develop. So this is an attempt to do that. As we go paperless, as we do the things that are, quite frankly, what everyone else in the country is doing, but more importantly, giving customer service and making sure that we can tailor it to each individual season ticket member as they want things and as we move through the line with the experience that we're trying to give.
Yeah, so please contact Nate or TJ with the Husky Athletic Fund. Again, personalize the way you want to come out to Husky Stadium, but please be here in 2023 for Husky football. I do want to talk a little bit, Sean, before I let you go, about NIL. And remember that, again, touch on the name, image, likeness topic, as well as the Boneyard Collective benefiting student athletes. How is NIU supporting student athletes in this new era?
Yeah, it's critical. I'm a proponent, a big time proponent of name, image, and likeness in the legislation. We're one of the first states to have an actual state law around this. And we've had to make a bit of an adjustment to make sure that we're serving our student athletes and that we're remaining competitive. And our state legislators understood that, our governor understood that, and we got it right. I really do believe that we're one of the few states that have got it right. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be competitive, if we're going to continue to do what we need to do, be the best football program in the state of Illinois, we're going to have to jump into this head first. And we have. Obviously, open doors in our marketplace with our student athletes having the ability to take their brand, market their brand to the next level. This is a great opportunity, educational opportunity for them to continue to monetize their image. We should have been doing it a long time ago. I'm really appreciative that we're doing that. And we've made the necessary adjustments for our student athletes through financial literacy and so many other types of things to help them on this pathway, this journey. The other part of that, collective-wise, it's very important for us to make sure that we're a part of that process. We've launched our collective. We've got donors and supporters that are very interested in the process with that. This is not a random pay for play. There is an organizational component to this. This is not a runaway train. We don't know where the dollars are coming from. We don't know what's happening in the middle of the night. Everything is very strategic and calculating. It's very important. I always hear reports with colleagues and other things where you have this private entity okay, we don't know what's happening with that. Right. Who's getting what, when they're getting it. We have a very sound organizational third party that runs our collective that makes sure that at the end of the day, there's no compromising of standards. This is very important. At some point, the NCAA, our governing body, will get control of some of the things that are happening because, as the transfer portal is a bit running wild. There's still phone calls and other things in the middle of the nighttime for inducements and things. And I'm not saying that's happening here, but definitely if you open your eyes and ears, it's definitely happening in the college landscape. So it's really important to make sure that we've got concise, strategic, and fundamental components of operations with these different new things that the NCAA has allowed. So again, our collective, our open doors marketplace, our ability to make sure that we give a quality experience for our student athletes are all a part of our educational model. So I feel really comfortable about that. And I feel really comfortable that our coaches understand that. And we continue to adapt as we go with making sure the community, our campus community and our local community understand the do's and the don'ts as it relates to this new era of college athletics.
Such a hot topic with NIL and everything going on. Remember, for more on NIL and links to the collective, as well as the Open Doors Marketplace, go to NIUHuskies.com and click on NIL at the top of the page. And again, also go to NIUHuskies.com. We mentioned basketball, just a couple games left. Both of these teams fighting to get into Cleveland for the tournament. Tickets are available on sale right now, NIUHuskies.com. Great information, Sean. We got a lot out about conference realignment, basketball, the different spring and winter sports. One final thought from you, Sean, is again, all these things are going on around the NCAA and with NIU. But NIU's in a really good spot moving forward with all of this right now.
Yeah, part of it is that you start to see the seeds that are now growing and blossoming, from the coaching, from the fundamental understanding and education. It's taken a while for me to get to this point. I'm at the best at my level because of the experiences that I've had in the past. I talked to a lot of administrators coming through. I'm a better AD now than I was when I first got to NIU back in 2013. And a lot of it has to do with understanding the system, understanding the expectations, understanding how we do things. Now, there's always a bit of a change, and we've seen it, especially in this new space of NIL, the transfer portal, and the like. But the reality is that having the level of consistent leadership, both at the top with our president, Lisa Freeman, along with our board, and quite frankly, senior staff and administrators, we have a pretty stout, safe group. Now, as soon as I say that, somebody's going to leave, right? But at the end of the day, we've had that. And I think that's why we've been a leader in a lot of these different areas. And reason why we've been able to achieve certain things underneath unbelievable adversity. I don't want to go back to COVID or the budget impasse or any of those other things that we've had, but we're here and we're sound. We win academically and athletically. And it's really a testament to the leadership and the ability to work through situational leadership and come out on the right side. So I'm excited about it. I'm not cocky about it. I'm excited about it and humbled that we've got the system in place that we currently have. Good stuff.
Yeah, we've had to build some bigger trophy cases. You've had a couple more jewelry, some rings since you've been here too, Sean Frazier. Had some success so far.
Yeah, it's really been fun. It's just fun that we've got people here that want to be at NIU and who have stepped up and have done the things that they said they were going to do. I'm just fortunate. I'm humble. Me and my beautiful wife, Rosa, my kids, I've graduated kids through high school, they're in college. This is just good to be able to now reap the rewards of so many positives that are going around on our campus and in the athletic department.
And we thank everybody for watching this special edition of NIU Weekly, Frazier's Corner. Again, don't forget to hit the button, like, subscribe, NIUHuskies.com. See all the new videos, highlights coming out. And if you want to watch this one again, you're free to do it. Go back, listen. Sean has a lot of good information if you missed something. Sean, always appreciate the time. And I look forward to what is happening coming up this end of February, moving into March with NIU Athletics.
I appreciate it, Andy. God bless you. Let's go Huskies, baby. Here we go.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Until next time, go Huskies.